Hi, everybody. This is Holland Martin, and thanks for joining me today to Paul Funches, head coach of the LPSA Freedmen. The Freedmen won the national championship last year against MTI in Florida. Paul, thanks for joining me again.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Always a good time.
Yes. So just kind of run through that season and culminating in the national championship. We started off with Detroit Community College, 14-6.
Yeah, man. Well, so we made the playoffs, right, which was awesome. We won. We had the way the NPGAA is set up. The conference championship is basically the start of the playoffs. That's the postseason. So we won the conference championship against Detroit CCC, and then punched our ticket to the national championship, or the semifinal game. The team forfeited kind of unexpectedly. So I mean, we got that win. It would have been nice to go out and actually play that game, but regardless, we punched our ticket and went down to Lakeland, Florida, and played MTI Pompano Beach in the national championship game.
Good stuff, bro. So let's kind of start back to the beginning of the year. Now, Dome Prep was the first game at Marion, and we knocked those guys out. But the only loss of the season was DuPage up in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Could you kind of run through that game? And I heard they were a game squad, and it was a little bit of adversity up there.
Yeah, man. So DuPage is a great JUCO program up there in the Chicagoland area. They are everything we thought they were going to be, right? I mean, they were strong and fast, and obviously an established program, been around for a while, and but it was a good test for us. So we went up there, and I mean they took it to us, man. And so we I think the speed of the game kind of took our guys off their posts a little bit, but we saw some areas where we needed to develop, and they didn't score in the second half, but it was definitely a test. I mean, they went on to win the NJCAA Division III national championship. Okay. So they weren't any slouches by any means. But it was, we made some plays. We had a couple interceptions, and we made some plays defensively and moved the ball a little bit, but definitely had our butts handed to us, a little bit. But it was good for us, man. I honestly believe that. Obviously, I never want to lose a game, but in the grand scheme of things, we kind of needed that in a way, especially moving forward, heading into, our postseason play, because they were definitely the best team that we played all year. And we saw the things we did well, and saw things that we needed to improve on. And we definitely did that, and it made us stronger to make our own national championship run.
Definitely. So let's kind of move on too. So we, after that, I think you faced Vision Prep, knocked those guys out. Do you have any question, or not a question, do you have anything to talk about that game or anything that stuck out?
Well, I mean, it was a crazy night, just, so Vision Academy is out of New York. And so they made the trip from New York, out here to Indiana. I know they had some transportation things going on, which is, always, it happens, but they got here kind of late. And so, we had to kind of rush, and then there was a whole thing. So that particular game, we were wearing alternative uniforms for the National Guard. So we were wearing black on black. They had black jerseys. So we were trying to figure out, what was going to go on. And so luckily, I mean, I still have some relationships with Coach Bell and the guys over at the high school, and so I called him up, and it's like, hey, you guys have some JV, away jerseys that we could borrow for tonight, and I'll watch them and so on. he was nice enough to let us borrow some of the JV away jerseys, and so we let Vision put those on, and went ahead and got it in, and we won pretty big that game. So
that W, baby. And
yeah.
then after knocking out Vision, the next game was SFF Community College. Do you have any recollection about those games?
Well, so after Vision, we went on the road and played at Franklin. So that SF game, the SF game actually had to get canceled because we were supposed to play at a neutral site in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes. And was that the team from Virginia?
Yeah, they're out of Virginia. And so the venue that we were going to use had some COVID stuff going on. Yeah. And so they weren't allowed to have outside people like at their facility. Yes. And so we had to cancel the game. We were trying to figure out another place to play at and trying to figure some stuff out, but it just didn't work out. And so we had to cancel that game, which was really unfortunate because they were a really good team out there, and they had a lot of athletes. We were really looking forward to that game. But either way, but we, like I said, we went down to Franklin College, played their JV.
Now that's your alma mater.
That's my alma mater. And so that was a lot of fun. Before the game, I got opportunity to talk to the team a little bit. The head coach and I are good friends. He was actually a GA my freshman year when I was there. So and now he's the head coach there, but really good guy. And so I got a chance to speak with the team for a little bit before our game, and then again we went out and got the dub. So that's always fun.
Now they said it was the JV team, but I'm sure they had some varsity sprinkled in there. And even if it was second and third stringers, they don't want an upstart program, put the wood to them.
I mean, it's so yeah. Because we watched film on them, and there were a couple guys that looked familiar because we have varsity film to study to prepare for the game. And so, there's a couple of numbers and a couple of guys out there that look pretty familiar from that varsity tape. But so don't get it, those are college football players that have been in the college program, have been in the weight room, have been, part of the nutrition program, who understand, college athletics. And a lot of those guys probably play a lot of special teams or are in support roles on Saturdays. And so they may not be major feature guys on Saturday afternoons, but a lot of them do get snaps on on Saturdays, and so they're just trying to get their just get more reps. And so, but it was fun, man. Like I said, those guys, and they didn't lay down. I mean, they want to come out and they want to play because they're trying to show their staff that they deserve to be out there on a regular basis on Saturday afternoons. And so it was they rolled out probably about 80 guys. And it was a lot of fun, man. Our boys really got up for that game, and it was nice to get the dub.
Nice. So there was kind of jumping off the schedule a little bit. There was a game against ALN, and they were another upstart program, maybe not as up to not as a full program as yours was starting up. So could you talk about that game not being finished or something of that nature?
Well, no. So we finished that game. So the ALN game came because we had to cancel the SF game.
Okay.
So that once we got the final word that we were going to have to cancel the SF game, I immediately got on the phone and talked to the guy who runs ALN's program and said, "Hey, would you guys be willing to play, this weekend? We got this and that going on. This the situation." And they agreed, which we're extremely thankful for because they didn't have to, so they could have been like, no, we'll do something else. But they, they agreed to play. And so we played down there in Indy, and the game's probably a little closer than it should have been. But again, that's one of those things. had the potential to be a rivalry game. I mean, we battled them a lot in recruiting. We recruited a lot of the same kids.
Yeah.
And so
some kids from Marion on that team.
Yeah, some kids from Marion, obviously some indie kids, and so it was fun. It was a fun game for sure. It was a nice crowd. I mean, it was very, I'm from Indy, so it was very Indianapolis. If it was a lot of fun. But they had a decent program. They had some kids that could really play some ball.
Oh, yeah. So now let's kind of fast forward a little bit, a couple of weeks to Haywood Prep. We'll kind of go through that game and what you remember about that one as well.
Yeah. So the Haywood game, again, that was another game that had to be kind of rescheduled. So Haywood's out of Tennessee, really good program. But we actually had to reschedule that game. And so we got Rose Holman on the schedule. And Rose Holman is another Division III program with, again, a very strong Division III program in the HCAC conference, along with Franklin and Hanover, who we also played. And so we went down to Terre Haute and played them. Again, another hard-fought game. Because the way we set the schedule up, we had a lot of our conference games for earlier in the season, and then I wanted the season to build in difficulty to prepare us for the postseason. And so, Rose Holman, man, I'm obviously really smart kids, right? It's engineering school, but very disciplined, very hard nosed, like played like their hair was on fire.
Yes.
And we had to get it together, man. We struggled a little bit at first, offensively, but we were able to put some drives together and pull out the victory. But it was definitely a good game.
Well, hard fought, yes. And like you and we just talked about Hanover. So let's kind of move on to let's go to that Detroit game that kind of vaulted you into the national championship picture. From what I understand, was it Ontarius? Or Tunstall, and then Ontarius. He was from Alabama. It was cold up there. It was quite the game.
Yeah, man. It was kind of a weird thing. So we, going into a playoff game, essentially, right? Conference championship game.
Yes.
Without our first two quarterbacks, right? So kind of our QB1, or who guy had kind of been our QB1. Had some health issues, had some things going on with his mouth, with his teeth. And so he's from Michigan. So he had to go back up to Michigan to get that stuff taken care of, to see a dentist. Then our backup quarterback, or, QB1B, or whatever you want to call him, broke his foot in practice. And so it's like, you got to be kidding me. So we're, rolling into the biggest game of the year with our third string guy, who we feel like he get it done, but obviously it's not the first two guys, right?
Yeah, you want to be hitting on all cylinders,
right? And so, but he did what he needed to do in practice, and like I said, we got Tunstall together as a backup. We put a package together for him. Because he had played a little bit of quarterback in house, and he's just an athlete. So it's like, we got that together, and we went up to Detroit. Playoff game, basically a home game for them, and it was a hard fought game. Always, I have a ton of respect for Detroit. Because they play us so freaking hard.
Yes.
And it's fun to compete. I'm a competitor, and I want the best. I want to compete against the best, and they always bring their best. They're tough, a little cheapy, but not, nothing dirty. Just, just a certain attitude, right, that they carry. And I'm like, okay, I respect it. But those boys play hard. And they always bring the most out of us. I mean, we played them twice, and
Mm-hmm.
we only beat them by a total of 12 points. I think. I think our first game was 8-6 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously when we played them in the playoffs, we beat them 12-6.
And so, what I understand about that Detroit game, I believe they went up 6, and then I think we got an interception or something and scored.
So they scored first,
mm-hmm.
right? In like the second quarter. So it was the scoreless first quarter. They scored first in the second quarter, went up 6-0. And so going into the fourth quarter, they actually had the lead. Yes. It was still 6-0. Mm-hmm. We finally scored in the fourth quarter, tied up 6-6. Okay. Then, and so it's tied up at the end of regulation, right? And so we get the ball first in overtime, and at that point we had Keyshawn Tunsil at quarterback.
Yes.
And so boom, he scores the very first play in overtime, right? Puts us up 12-6. And so they get an opportunity to match it, right? So defense is on the field. Dante South, middle linebacker, intercepts the ball. There we go. That's the game right there. And so
I love that coach.
It was again, man, like our defense, I mean, carried us a big part of the season. I mean, our defense played lights out a lot, man. I think we went a whole stretch, like 7 games, man, where we only gave up like a total of like 19 points. You know, we had the number 1 defense in the country in the MPGA, and those boys, I mean, flew around to the ball and made plays when we need them to. And
I watched you guys work out and train all last season. I'm looking like, whoa, 6'4", 6'5", 230, 250, 300. Did any of those players get recruited for Division I or other colleges when you were playing?
Yeah, so we were blessed to send several players to 4-year universities, which in my opinion means more than the national championship.
Yes.
Like, don't get me wrong, national championship's great, right? That's always wonderful, and that's an accomplishment. But seeing these young men get opportunities to play ball at 4-year universities is what the program is about. Yes. We were blessed. We had 1 player go to Division I. Jackson Mill played receiver for us, number 15. Okay. It's going to be at Purdue this fall. He got to work out with Purdue, and they brought him on as a PWO, which is really awesome. We sent some players to Virginia University, Lynchburg. We sent some players. We got some guys going to Arkansas Baptist.
Yes.
We got guys going to Central State. We got guys going to so we got a couple of MTI, not the ones we played, but they have a JUCO program, like a 2-year program. Yeah. We got one of our guys down there. He's been there since December. Man, school's leaving my mind right now because we got a couple guys at Cumberland.
Yes.
And I was just on the phone today with coaches from Quincy University. I think we got a couple of guys that are from last year's team that will get an opportunity with them. So, you know, we've been really blessed, man.
Oh, definitely. So let's go into, so after that game against Detroit, we had a kind of a 2-week break before the national championship game, if I'm not mistaken, and kind of let the kids decompress and just kind of, just relax for a bit before the game. Was there any, different ideas about maybe we shouldn't give them a 2 weeks off, or,
I mean, there's always, you weigh the pros and cons of everything, right? It was a unique thing where, like I said, our semifinal game, the team forfeited. So that gave us basically like a bye week. But it was also around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, it was like, okay, do we keep everybody here and we practice how we or how do we let them go home? So we decided to let them go home. And we had guys from all over, so that was kind of another reason. We had kids from Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, all type of places. And so guys got an opportunity to go home, relax a little bit, regroup, and then come back and make this last push to win national championship.
And that was awesome. So I ended up watching. I watched as much as I could and patronized you guys' games as much as I could. But what I noticed about MTI when you guys were down at the national championship, their center QB exchange was bad. I had watched them play in their semi-final game, and I was like, 33 is a stud linebacker, 4 can catch. I think it was 84 as well. And then I was like, okay, Freedmen might be in a little trouble. But then I'm watching the game and they can't get the snap right. They put another quarterback in it that was worse than the starter. And then we were able to get a scoop and score and kind of a big bug. And then the other guy, 21, those running backs really did their thing, I thought.
Yeah, no, man, it was awesome to see the offensive line kind of put it together right when we needed them to.
Yes.
We had big, strong backs that can tote the rock, and they did that.
Big Boog was a monster, baby.
Yeah, Boog ran the ball hard. Matthew,
Matthew scored.
Yeah, he had arguably the best run of the game. We know one of the highlights of the game. He ran about 3-4 people over, and while cramping, like he was cramping up and ran everybody over and scored a touchdown, man. That, but and again, defensively, like I said, we had a pretty good plan put together on both sides of the ball, really.
Yes.
Our staff, we worked really hard to put that plan together for that national championship game. And defensively, we knew they had, like I said, they had number 4 who was a stud. They had a running back who split time with the normal starter, who I thought was better than the regular starter. But he was really shifty and really quick.
Yeah.
And their offensive line was really big. They had their 2 tackles I felt like were pretty good. But again, the game's about matchups, right? And you have to identify matchups that are in your favor. And the center was a matchup we felt like that was in our favor.
Yep.
We felt like our defensive tackles were quick enough and strong enough to give him some problems.
Yes.
And
we knew 2 technique, boom, go get them.
Yeah, and we knew if we blitzed in the A gaps, they were going to struggle with that a little bit.
Disruptive.
And so we exploited a matchup that was in our favor, and then we knew out on the edges we felt like we could play a lot of man against them. Nobody had done that really before with them.
Yes.
Because like I said, number 4 is nasty. 84 was nasty.
Big time.
They had another receiver that was really good too, and so a lot of people did not play man against them. But we were like, all right, we're gonna put a lot of pressure on them. Let's play man and just see what happens. If we get beat with it, we don't like it, we'll come out of it, we'll do something else.
And you had the horses to do that.
Yeah, you gotta. It all comes down to Jimmy's and Joe's, man. You gotta have the guys to do what you can do. And so again, our staff, we see our boys every day in practice, and we've seen them go to work all season. And so we knew what we had. We knew we had some guys that could play man, they could bump and run, and they had been wanting to do it all year anyway.
Yes.
So it was like, all right, well, here we go. And it worked out for us.
Awesome. So now we won, we come back to Marion, and we're ready for season 2. And although you won a national championship, what were some of the challenges you faced? Logistics. What were some of the challenges that the average person may not see when you're running your own program?
Yeah, man. Well, anytime. So again, we're independent, if you will. So like we don't have a huge booster club. We don't have, tons of people, feed money into our program. But so I mean, just logistically, you're trying to get 45 players and coaches from Marion, Indiana, down to Lakeland, Florida, in one piece. And you gotta feed everybody. You gotta make sure we got a place to stay and all that stuff. So just like the logistics of that part, people don't really see. And so we fundraised and people blessed us like no other, man. And we were able to get down there to Florida. We were able to feed the players. We were able to give them like a little, spending money while they were there. And we were able to get back. So,
with the ring.
With the ring.
You know what I mean?
With the ring, man. We went down there and took care of business on the field, and we were but again, just even that part, we're still waiting on our national championship rings to come in. They should be here hopefully in the next week or so. Okay. But again, that's logistics, right? Those things have to be paid for, and and all of that. So it's it's now going into year 2. Those are things we'll handle a lot better. Like they'll be on our radar, and we'll make sure things run a little more smoothly. Kind of. You never know if you're going to make the playoffs or not. You don't know how far you're going to go. And so you don't plan for some things. But I think kind of moving forward, our attitude is like, well, we expect to always at least win our conference. So, we'll adjust and we'll do things that way. But definitely just, logistics and getting everybody where they need to be and paying for things. It's always, a lot. Yeah.
So how many players are coming back for season 2? I know there was a 1-year deal or 2-year deal. How many people are coming back?
Yeah, so we actually, because we put a lot of kids in the school, we actually have only one player from last year's roster coming back.
Wow.
And so, because a lot of them, so obviously a lot of guys we put in the schools, some guys decided that they weren't playing football anymore, which is also part of it, right? That's another piece of the program, is to help guys decide, do I even want to do this?
Is this what you want to do?
Yeah, is this what I want to do, moving forward? And some guys decided that they were done with football. And so that, that's fine too. And so so essentially we almost have a brand new set of guys, a brand new roster this year. I think this year's team has the potential to be very good. Obviously the standard is set pretty high with a national championship, but I think if this team has the same just kind of grit and drive that last year's team had, and we'll as we get everybody together, we'll start putting that piece together and seeing who can do what. But just on paper, they've got the potential to be really, really good.
Because now there's a Freedmen style. So now we can recruit players that fit the LPSA offense, defense, style.
And culturally, we've set a standard like what we want cultural wise, like the type of players that we want to recruit. And obviously winning allows you to be very selective, right? So we can in recruiting, and we've identified, like you said, the type of player that we want, and the type of player that fits our scheme, and we can, and then obviously just really good football players like you who are really good at football.
And even you want players that are good on the field, but also there's the academic aspect. Are the players still attending? Well, the one player that's coming back will still be, and the others coming in will attend Ivy Tech still, won't they?
Well, so we are no longer having our guys take classes at Ivy Tech.
Okay.
All of our players take classes at Community Christian College, which is based in California. So all the classes are online.
Okay.
But we decided to kind of make that transition because Community Christian was willing to partner with us in different ways, so we could kind of put the pieces together to become a satellite campus for them, and kind of move towards being a full traditional 2-year junior college program, which is kind of that's the big time goal. And so Community Christian gives us the best opportunity to move in that direction. But academics is absolutely number one. Not all of our guys are academic-ish problems or whatever, right? A lot of them have really good GPAs, but regardless, if your grades are trash, it doesn't matter how good you are. So and obviously the name of the game is to get guys in the schools, and we can't do that if their grades are bad. So academics is number one. We take that very serious. We do study tables 3 times a week. We meet with our players academically. We have academic advisor. We have academic support staff. So we put all the pieces there to help our guys be successful academically.
Awesome. So now, so with things being a little bit different in season 2, where's the housing? Players housing? Where you guys practicing at? Where will the home games be held? And where will you be training in the weight room at?
So home games will still be at Marion High School.
Okay.
We're still there, and as long as until God blesses us with like our own facility or something like that, we'll play our home games there. We are going to be training at the Grant County YMCA this year. A little bigger space. Allows us to do a little more of the things we want to do with like our 6 a.m. workouts and whatnot. So we're really blessed to be partnering with them. We're going to practice at Justice Intermediate here in Marion. They have a football field that's not being used. So I reached out to Ms. Rumpel, the principal there, and got everything cleared for us to be able to practice there, which that in itself will make us even better. Having an actual football field,
not a soybean field that gets muddy when it rains.
So
actual field.
An actual field. So that's really good. Housing wise, we've worked out, I think, with the Plato Apartments here in Marion. So the players, kind of handle that themselves. All we've really done is just talk to them and ask them like, hey, this is our program, this is what we're doing. Would you guys be open to having our guys live here? And they said, yeah. But from after that, the player, and honestly, the players can really live wherever they want to live. It's just we have an option there for them. But they're more than welcome to live anywhere else in the community that they please.
Okay. Now, what about the coaching staff? I know we had a Coach Davis, Coach Moore, Coach Tate, some of the guys from Indy and the area. How many of the coaches are being retained?
So our coaching staff has switched up a little bit. Defensively, we're pretty much the same. We added Caleb Kemper, who's pretty well known in the community. He's a barber. He's going to be coaching our defensive line for us. He also played at Franklin like I did. So there's connection there. Because we're adding him, Trey Tunstall, who was our D-line coach, is moving back to linebackers. So I can take a step back and just kind of be the D coordinator / head coach. I don't have to coach a position this year, which is really cool. So our offensive staff, like I was saying, is switched up a little bit. So like I said, Coach Morris is no longer with us. He's he's not coaching anymore. He's kind of a scout /
talent evaluator.
I still talk to him about coaching stuff. So like I said, Coach Morris go. Coach Tate still with us, coaching receivers and tight ends. Like I said, Coach Jay is with us now, going to be coaching quarterbacks and being the OC. Coach Davis is no longer with us. He's I think he's going to be coaching down in Indy. He's going to be working down there and coaching middle school football down there in Indy.
Okay.
And then we added Deontay Buckley, Coach Buck. So he is another Warren guy like me. He's a little younger than me.
Championship pedigree.
Yeah, so he, phenomenal high school career, great collegiate career, played at Cincinnati, went on, played arena ball and played, played professionally a little bit. So wealth of knowledge, great young coach, wants to go far in the coaching profession. Definitely knows his stuff, man. We had the guys here a couple of weeks ago for a day of OTAs, and I looked over, man. He had the running backs working, man, looking good, and so he knows his stuff. Very relational. It's one thing we really want to be, kind of make a push for it to improve, just being relational with our players. And so I want young coaches that care about kids, and football is important, but it's not the end all be all. And we'll build our guys up, and I feel like our staff has done that. Offensive line wise, the other coach Moore is no longer coming back with us, Mario Moore. So we have, so it's not official yet, but we have somebody in mind that we're going to bring on the coach offensive line. And so I'm gonna hold off on that till it's in stone.
So there will be some changes. Pretty much all the players except one, and bulk of the coaches except a couple, 2 or 3. But that's those things happen every year in football.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of JUCO post-grad football. You're obviously with players, right? There's going to be a lot of turnover because guys are only going to be with us for so long before they move on to their new school. But then also the interesting thing is, which I love, is like when we do well, people want my coaches.
Yes.
And so I'm good with that. Like, I'm all for that, man. Like, guys to be able to move forward in the profession and to get new jobs and do the things that they love to do. But that's kind of it, man. When we after we won, well, really we hadn't even played yet, but after our practice, we practiced our national championship practice. One of the coaches at Allen University was there watching our practice, and he just was talking about how impressed he was with the staff, and he was like, man, we got these openings down here, if you got guys that are interested, so on and so forth. And so those are things I really enjoy as a head coach, because that's what was done for me. I had head coaches that looked out for me and got me opportunities to get interviews and to be in spaces that help me develop as a coach. And so, coaching turnover is kind of normal. But like I said, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And it's, and even on every level, kind of like you were saying, the assistant coaches get recruited, a linebacker coach from LPSA, or they want the best. And so it's really, humbling. It's a good thing. But on the flip side, what would you say to people who speak negatively about the program or without fully knowing what's going on? This is, we're in Marion, Grant County, and you hear people that don't know nothing about nothing, just talking.
Yeah, man, I don't really pay no attention to that. I know what we're doing here. I know, where my heart is. God told me to start this program, and I say that, every time I talk about the program, but it's the truth. I had no intentions of being a head coach anywhere. I just wanted to be a coordinator. But God put it on my heart to start this program because I want to help young people. And so. And I know my staff's the same way. We just want to help people. What I'm saying? We don't. And so that's all I care about, man. I care about my staff. I care about my boys on my team, and making sure that we're getting these young men to grow as men and win football games, man. Like I'm trying to, I don't have to, I gotta, we talked about the logistic part of it. So I gotta handle that, and I gotta coach the team. And so I don't have time to worry about any of that, man. If people say negative things or they have negative thoughts about the program, you know,
it's on them.
It's on them.
They on the outside looking in, bro.
Yeah, I pray for them, and they can come see us. They can pull up. You know, I'm in the community. You know, I don't have anything to hide. We're not a scam. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing nothing inappropriate. We not, you know, we're, you know, the T in tough stands for transparent, you know. So, you know, whatever people say is what they say, man. But you know,
and that's how it should be, coach. You got more to worry about on the team than Joe Blow down the street yapping about what he don't even know about, you know. But that's the world that we live in. But let's talk about this. How has so initially when you started, we're in the middle of COVID and quarantines and things like that. Things have seemed to be eased since the national championship game. How has that affected for the good as far as recruiting, traveling, some of those things?
Yeah. So what is crazy? So things that had eased up a lot and got a lot easier recruiting wise, like being able to get out and see people and like getting people here for our official visits. And then the gas prices shot up through the roof. So that makes it a little more difficult again now, because we have social media and we have all these other like we have Zoom, we have different things like that we can communicate. So we can still meet people that way. But as far as like in-person stuff, it's gotten a little more difficult because of like just people, it's just expensive to travel, right? Like, you know, if I'm talking to a young man from Louisville, you know, and I want him to come up and visit, you know, that's a 3-hour drive. You know, you're looking at $200 in gas.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's like, do I really want to put that burden on his parents? You know, and obviously I'll leave it up to them, you know, if they want to make that trip. But it's like, you know, I'm always trying to look out for people. I'm like, I don't, you know, if we could do this some other way and we can have this conversation, let's do it that way versus you driving all the way up here for, you know, 2-hour, for a 2-hour, 3-hour visit and have to turn around and
go right back.
But, you know, but as far as COVID is concerned, you know, things have obviously opened up and have gotten a little more, you know, kind of how they used to be a little bit.
We're still in the red, bro. Just the people don't care.
Well, I mean,
like I'm going back to normal.
Because, you know, people have their thoughts or whatever. I mean, you know, this where the virus is at right now is called the linger. So it's going to be around. It's going to be like the flu, right? Like the traditional flu, right? Where it's always here. Like people get the flu all the time.
So you're going to get COVID.
So you got to look at the numbers. While you know, the county we're in the red. I guarantee if they did the same numbers with the regular flu, we'd probably be in the red too.
Red as well, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
They do skewer the numbers. They do, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, you know, I'm not, you know, like I say, everybody's got their own thoughts and their own feelings about COVID and how serious or unserious it is. And I mean, and it's definitely serious.
Yes.
You know, so I don't want to imply that like I don't take the virus serious or anything like that. But if you pay attention to, you know, and you actually read like clinical stuff and not just like, you know, listen to people on YouTube or whatever. But, you know, you'll see that the numbers are kind of getting to a point, like they're plateauing, like they're not. Right. So like, and, you know, there's cases versus deaths, right? And so they talk about, so our cases might be doing this when, like I said, cases are actually plateauing a little bit now, but that's because but deaths are going down, right? Like you're not seeing the high number of deaths, but that's because people get sick and then they're sick for a little bit, just like the traditional flu.
And we're able to push through it in a week or so.
Yeah.
Which is good. So you did talk about, you know, file sharing, was that huddles and things like that, but you guys actually use Quick Cut. Could you talk about that? the difference between quick cut and huddle?
I mean, the main difference is just like the price. But they're essentially the same.
Okay.
You get a lot of the same features. You can do a lot of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little different as far as like uploading like the game film and like the way you exchange
Yes.
is a little different, obviously, because the majority of the world, of the coaching world or athletic world uses huddle. But quick cut is like it's like right there. I do know the association that we play in has worked out a deal with huddle. So we may actually be switching the huddle only out of because we have to, because we're a part of the association, and like it's just it is what it, that's out of our hands. But I really like quick cut, man. Like it, I mean,
quick.
I still have to. I mean, I still evaluate. I'm still looking at film, like breaking down our stuff from last year and different things like that. And so once you got like any new thing, once you got, it takes a little bit to get the hang of it. It working with it, it was a little at first, like getting the previous game, like uploaded took longer than like what I really wanted. At first, there were some ways you had to load the files, and then like the plays were out of order and different things like that. So that got a little annoying. But once we kind of got the hang of it towards the middle to end of the season, it was a lot easier. But definitely, I mean, like everything, man, there's pros and cons to
yes. Okay, so now we are rolling into the second season. It looks like by my research, the first 3 games are Vision, Flight Academy, and Dome Prep. And I think all 3 of those are in Marion High, aren't they?
Yep.
So
yep.
that first game.
So what was that?
What day is that first game against Vision?
August 27th.
Okay, so 2 months away.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Yes, sir.
Feels like tomorrow, in my opinion.
Oh, it's gonna be boom, real quick, baby.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that. Again, Vision was willing to come back out here again. They promised me they would be on time this time.
Yes.
So
I have a question about that. So like you guys, it'll probably be a whole different team besides a couple.
Probably.
Or are they more?
From what I understand, it might be kind of the same thing. Like it might be a couple of people remaining from last year's team, but I think it's probably gonna be a whole new team. They were actually, man, like athletically, they were probably one of the best teams that we played besides like DuPage and MTI. So like MTI, well, I don't know. They might have been a little more athletic than MTI. I don't know. But like, so like if they'd have had more people, they had some guys who could really go. They just didn't really have like the numbers.
Yeah.
But I definitely enjoyed playing them. Their coach is a really cool guy. So they're gonna bring it regardless of how many people they roll out with, 16 people or
80 like MTI,
they're gonna bring it regardless of how many they have. So it'll be a good first game for us.
Now you guys didn't play Flight Academy last year, though.
No, they're a new program. They're a new program on the football side. From I understand, they've had basketball for a little bit.
Where are they located?
They're in Dayton, out of Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, 3 hours, couple hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
2.5.
Yeah, so definitely excited about playing them. They're going to be good, I feel like, because I mean, just that county is a hotbed for high school football.
Oh yeah, I played semi-pro over there in Tip City and the Crush over there, big time.
Yeah, so Ohio. I mean, we all know how Ohio is with high school football, and
big time.
They're gonna bring it, man. I'm very excited to play them. We'll have to bring it. We're not gonna let anybody sneak up on us like we snuck up on anybody last year.
Yes.
So.
Well, you guys are the national championship. They're like, hey, we want to get those guys. We want to shoot down LPSA. Yeah,
and like I said, I'm fully confident that they will have some very talented guys on their team, and they'll be well coached. And so, again, and it's a conference game. So the conference has grown. Obviously, you have teams like Flight Academy that have now joined, and so the conference has been split to West and East, and so we're on the West side. We're arguably, I mean, on the stronger side, maybe. I mean, like is us, Detroit, and Flight on our side of the conference, and then on the other side, there's Dawn. There's another new program, Cincinnati United, and then SF is on the east side of the conference.
The playoffs are going to be pretty exciting this year, then, with all that good teams competing.
Yeah.
And it looks like that third game is Dome Prep.
Yeah, so Dome Prep will come back to our place again, and again, you know, that was the game that we had to cut a little short, where we had the little scuffle or whatever. But
it's football.
Yeah, you know, it's football, and again, you know, every year every team is different, and I mean, you know, we've talked to them and talked to their staff, and you know, it is what it is. I don't think it's going to be a thing, you know what I mean? So they'll come into town, and we'll get to it.
Handle it. Good stuff, Coach, man. You know how I feel about you, bro. We've been on and off. We've been coaching together basically since 2014. You know, you came back, and then, you know, IWU, and now you got your own squad, man. I'm just proud of you. I saw a video of you getting your boy ready with the wide receiver. Hey, football is my love, and I know it's your love too. But what I loved was coaching my son, you know, and now in a couple of years you'll be able to,
Yeah, I try to, you know, he'll be a 7th grader at McCullough this year, and so really excited about that. And you know, he obviously, like, I'm a football head, so the fact that he wants to play and he's excited, and he's hungry about playing, and he wants to work, so that's obviously exciting. It's so beautiful. You know, I'll support him in whatever he wants to do, and you know, just, you know, the pros and cons of coaching college ball, right? So I can't make everything, but you know, I'll try to make as many games as I can, and you know, have my wife record everything that we can, so I can watch it.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Thanks, man. I think he'll be okay, man. He's got a little something, so we'll see how he does.
Coach Monty and some of the guys there at you know, they do their thing.
Yeah, they do their thing, man. They're good coaches out there.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, you know, I don't want to keep you too much longer, Coach. I did want to talk about the possible filming your games this year, and how if that's up for discussion, or
sure. I'm taking applications, man. I need somebody to film games.
And you know, we got you.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, we could talk. Like I said, I need somebody to film games
on a regular. You still got that Canon 60D, right? I might need that thing back.
We're gonna have to figure something out, man. And then we have anybody who wants to volunteer to film practice for us, or, you know, a young person who wants to intern or something like that.
Yes.
You know, to film practice. And like I said, I definitely need somebody to film games for us, especially like conference games, to make sure we got that, so we can get it uploaded. That was one of the other things with last year, is like, if, like, when you play like the Franklins and Hanover, like, obviously they have somebody filming the game, so you know, we could get their film, and like it wasn't really. But
they can't get your film.
But later on in the season, obviously, like we could trade film, but I'm like, getting the film from that previous, so like from like the game we just played. Yes. Right. Sometimes it would take longer because you want to upload it immediately, so we can start breaking it down, right? So we
like high school, we do that right after the game, 3 a.m.
Like everybody else, right? Like every football program in the world, like that's how it's done. But for us, and we would have to like wait a day, or like like 2 days or whatever.
It kind of hinders things. In hindsight, you guys made it work, winning the Natty with 1 loss, but not being able to scout your opponent, it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough sometimes. I mean, and, you know, we always have film ready to go. You know, we like I said, we want to run our program as elite as possible. So like you know, our film was ready to trade and everything like right away. You know, but I mean, like I said, you got things you got to work through or whatever. But definitely, like I said, like film and practice, that's taking it to another level that we need to be at so we can watch what
so we can go over our mistakes and rectify them and be sharper come game day.
Exactly. And so, you know, getting somebody to film practice for us, getting someone to like our own film person who can film our games, especially for, like I said, like away games, like who could travel with us and like film our games. Like that would be huge. Because that, you know, that then we can get it uploaded, if not on the bus ride back home that night.
As soon as you get back to a computer. As soon as we
get back to Marion, get back to a computer, we can, you know,
upload it, get it to the next point. That's perfect, man. And that's what they do in huddle, man. You know, hey, it'd be 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. You might be watching the jerseys and uploading the video. And come 8 o'clock when the players come in, it's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you know, Coach, I didn't want to keep you much longer, but I just want to congratulate you for winning the national championship in your very first year. Year 2 coming up in 2 months against Vision. I will definitely be there those first 3 games at Marion High School. And like I said, if maybe we can be the ones, Channel 27 could be the ones that are filming the games. You know, it's coming up pretty quick, so we probably need to figure out what's going on.
Hey, man, let me know what's up. We gotta get on it.
Yeah, but I did see one of your coaches, I think it was Harvey. Now, is Harvey being retained?
Yeah, coach. Yeah,
I saw one of his, I think it's conference championship ring. It was nice, but that thing was big.
Yeah, man. So the guys, you know, they wanted to do a conference ring and a national championship ring. So again, just creates another thing logistically. We gotta try to figure out how to get it done, but whatever. So the conference rings finally came in. Yeah, they look amazing.
Green, my favorite color.
Yeah, you know, green's my favorite color too. That's our, you know, that's our color. But no, they came out really well, man. We're really happy with them, and those national championship rings are gonna be nasty though. Like when they come, man, those are gonna.
Hey, when he showed me that one, I was looking like, I mean, it looked like an NBA ring or something. So I, like you said, the natty one is gonna be sick.
Yeah, those are gonna be nasty. So really excited about those. Everybody's ready for them. I'm ready for them. And it's been, you know, but again, some things are out of your control. You just gotta do what you gotta do. And when we get them, you know, we'll get them, and you know that'll be that.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll end it on that note, Coach.
Hey, anytime, man. Holland, you know you my guy. Anything you need, just let me know.
Hey, all right, Paul. Hey, God bless you, man, and we'll reconnect here in a couple of weeks.
All right, man. You take care.
Peace.